Can we get some, you know, a table, some more chairs, and make the place look rather nice? Oh hey, welcome back. So, I would say that you seem interested in our tales, which is great because here's the latest one. Pull up a chair to our box, Soren! Sorry about that, I'm trying to convince Soren to get us a table in. So we start this story with the Rat Pack and some followers of Tal. We went down to the river to take on the Rivergits because they've been nicking boats and being general little shits with another sodding troll. So we went in with a similar plan as last time, so we had no plan. Reinhard kicked us all off with a shot on the troll, which in my mind was more useful than that of Yeoman's hunting horn, because, you know, something actually happened. Skullplate was first in this time against the troll, which I suppose when a town names you as a slayer of trolls, it must feel like an obligation at this point. Between him and Yeoman, they basically took out the troll in one go, except for it was going to regen because nobody brought any fire. The rest of us just took on the other goblins as they tried to wrap round Skull, and I handed them a lit torch because it already seemed to slip everybody's mind that fire kills trolls. There was one goblin that ran towards Sigurd, but in fact ran into his foil. Man's a fortunate sod, I'll give him that. Once a troll was set ablaze, other goblins were starting to have second thoughts, with one of the goblins dashing onto the battle raft and falling through a gap, thereby killing himself and saving us the trouble. The rest of the goblins were cut down, as we could make sure none would escape. Now, snotlings are shitty little things, and I hope to never see any again as long as I live, because while they're weak as the beer in the ram's head, there's just so many of them. I mean, even Sigurd was having to take a small pause to pull him off the end of his foil so he could resume killing them. Now the day was won, and the fishing guild got their boats back. Well, sorta, because it appears they made some sort of battle raft by cannibalising the two ships. But the reception was still good. They couldn't offer us anything, but it was kind of a nice thing to do so that the town would not starve. Now a week later, and we're back in the rat hole, with a few new leads on ways to better ourselves and the town around us. Skullplate went to Kazakarak to find a rune priest to get some information on the plant situation, in which the rune priest said it's something to do with the beastman probably. Skull did gain yet another tattoo from his escapade. That dwarf better slow down, otherwise he might run out of room. Sigurd went to Bogarfen to see if he could find anything else out about the Lord of Tarm, in which the information was conflicting, but one thing did line up, with the Lord reportedly being flippant and can't hold his drink. Well, how shocking is it that a Lord can't hold his drink or impress the girls? My. Reinhard spent some time with the hunters of Tal and learned that the town does not appear to have been plagued by beastmen anymore, which is apparently thanks to Yeoman and the emissary of Tal preventing this. I can't help feel there's something more to this, but one insane problem at a time if you please. Lazarus helped the town's herbalist and got her out of her rent worries, for the time being anyway, but no one will have a shop left if the law's taxes are still left unchecked. Selep went to Uberstrike to sell the loot from the last adventure. He also checked in with a few other people, but he didn't gain that much from them. Lothar has found a smuggler who was willing to do the deed with regards to the black powder venture between Lady Thunberg and Sigurd. I only hope that his smuggler friend isn't crap at his job because the clue is in the name. So then we come to what I got up to. I had not only managed to catch the elf by not actually doing anything this time, but I also got a meeting with it. They wanted to show me something because we're investigating the same thing apparently. So the meeting was in an hour or two, and I didn't want to get the whole gang together because that might be perceived as a bit aggressive. Although I did end up taking a troll slaying dwarf, so I might as well have brought the entire Reichland military for all the diplomacy that would afford. Sigurd and Lazarus decided to head to the Temple of Rhea while we were gone, so that they could set up our dig site and we could pretend to be dwarfs for 5 minutes. So while moving to the temple, Sigurd and Lazarus decided to hit up the market and chat with the locals to get an idea of how the town is ticking over. Apparently Yarla has been climbing the roof of the temple. What she has been doing up there, nobody really knows, but when you've been accused of a witch, this is not a good look. Also, we heard that Blutrock had been raided by beastmen. The witch hunter Jeremiah Babarish apparently helped fend off the raid. This witch hunter is a bit of a twat, but at least he was doing something useful for a change. First for everything, I guess. Be nice if you didn't wildly accuse people and burn them at the stake, but you can't have it all. So myself, Reinhard and Skull headed to the meeting place where the elf was supposedly going to show us something. After walking up, the elf was already there, which was a good thing because I wasn't so sure how this was going to go down on account of having Skullplate near me. We took a walk deeper into the forest. Don't know if you've tried to make small talk with an elf, but it's pretty pointless. We crossed a stream and the elf drew a line in the snow, which he declared as something to be remembered, and he wasn't wrong. So we walked further in, and the elf seemed to think it was the perfect time to blow a decorative horn, which I thought was a stupid idea because we brought down that building last month and got Ungor in the face. So after being shot at by an arrow that was deflected by the elf, we were met with a herd of beastmen that must have been at least 70 of the bastards, which, while I feel like a pretty brave sod, you know, first to attack a troll and all that, I have to say I did not fancy our chances here and decided to take the elf's advice and give it legs. Now, I've never run so fast in my life, but that elf was way ahead of me, and I mean way ahead of me here. Now I understand why I couldn't catch him earlier. So we eventually passed the line that he drew in the snow, but noticed that the elf had stopped running. When we turned, we saw that the beastmen had also stopped chasing us where the line was, and they all just lined up and snarled at us. I do not know why that was the point for them to stop, but I'm okay with it. After an exchange of not really ideas, just facts, the elf asked for us to divulge any information that we find out about the beastmen and this dark voodoo stuff, but didn't really want to commit to the information coming the other direction. After a few more words, he handed us a horn and said he would help any way he could if his time allowed it. Back in town, Sigurd and Lazarus visited Jarla at the Temple of Rhea. However, this time Jarla seemed very different from the last time we saw her. So Lazarus and Sigurd spent a while calming her down before we turned up. So we filled the other two in on what happened with regards to the beastmen and the line. But that wasn't really the concern right now. The concern right then was to dig up the roots and see what was going on. So we started digging, excavating around the roots to see what we were dealing with. It seems that the roots are heading in the direction of the Lord's Manor, or the Miners' Guild. We decided to dig around a bit more looking for the roots outside. Now Lazarus and Skull got a bit too close to the Lord's property, and it seems the guards aren't really in the mood to entertain guests. And I don't think they care if you're an innocent bystander or not. They look like they're ready just to hit someone with a halberd just to make the day go quicker. So we're still unsure of where these roots go. Now Sigurd and Lazarus went back to the rat hole because Sigurd was going to request an audience with the Lord of Tarn for some noble business. He probably did mention it to me, but I could not care less what nobles do more than I care about catching rats in the rat hole. In the Miners' Guild, Asriel was the dwarf behind the counter this time, which was a shame because I like that bocky bloke. The info we got was mostly about the house renovations happening this time round, which involved no digging, and the original construction was unknown to him. As a final request, I asked if he minded that we took a look outside, which he outright did. To me, people who have nothing to hide generally don't care how you waste your time, and the reason dwarves don't lie is a weak excuse. But as I'm fairly sure that the manor is where this is going, I don't really want to waste much more time pursuing it. So Sigurd had changed into his courtly garb so that he could take a meeting with the Lord of Tarn. Coming from the outside, Sigurd mentioned that the Lord's guards are poorly trained in court reception, which makes sense because they're highly skilled warriors, from what I've heard anyway. But hey, if I was the top bloke around here, I would definitely want the best of the best guarding me, since I was crushing the lives of everybody around here with tax. So he finally managed to gain entry into the manor. Mind you, he was getting more and more annoyed, which I felt was a good thing, because why should noble lives be so easy, eh? Make them work for some things in life, makes them appreciate it a bit more. Apparently, Sigurd was met by a man called Theodosius, which is the family advisor, and he was quite rude towards Sigurd because his bow wasn't deep enough or something. Noble problems, never quite understood them. According to him, the Lord is in fact unwell and unable to speak to anyone. Probably been hitting the booze and the women again. Wait, maybe not so much the women, if Miss Crystal's girls are to be believed anyway. Sigurd did however notice that the manor did not smell how he would expect it to, nor did he receive the manner that he would have expected either. Curious. Now Lazarus decided to check in with the Stragani fortune teller friend he has. Look, she's not a witch until she's confirmed a witch, alright? She informed us that witch hunter Jeremiah has come into town, which is not a good thing for the Stragani, so they packed up and left. Now before she left, she handed Lazarus a potion that she has no idea what the effects are, which immediately put me into suspicion. How can you make something and not know what it does? That being said, if I wanted to test a weird potion, I'd get someone else to drink it first too. He made a stop at the Ram's Head to join Yeoman and the followers of Tal, which I hope he's doing for a better reason than just joining them, because I still don't trust that guy. And the silly sod decided to drink that weird Stragani concoction halfway down the street rather than near or in the rat hole. Suffice to say, he passed out in the street, and even though he is a troll slayer, he got his coin purse nicked. Luckily, some upstanding citizens brought him back to the rat hole so Soren could tip some beer on him, rub a rat in his face and slap him around a bit, which brought Lazarus back to a conscious state. I'm not sure what the beer and the rubbing of the rat was for, but sure. Now, over the next few weeks, some bastard nicked a silver from me, and I wasn't too pleased about it. A witch had managed to escape from a cart of captors, which might be the reason the witch hunters come to town. Between myself, Celep and Sigurd, we managed to finally catch all the damn rats plaguing the rat hole. Skullplate tried to get some blueprints of the Lord's Manor, but was rejected due to him being a dwarf slayer asking for blueprints to a house, which seemed rather odd. He then told Sigurd about it. Sigurd also tried to get the blueprints to the house by pretending he wanted to build a property very similar to that of the Lord of Tarms. Unfortunately, he did not manage this, and he even tried to bribe the guy. Sigurd also looked into the Lord's brothers, because there were two of them. He found out that one of the brothers had enlisted in the military, but he got kicked out and is now rumoured to be fighting in the fighting pits. The other brother of Tarm is said to have started a financial venture, but this was years ago. Reinhard went to ask a thief about breaking into the manor, to which the answer was a very stern no. He also went to nearby towns asking the road wardens about the elves, in which some old geezer turned around and said that there used to be a lot of elves, but most of them left a couple hundred years ago. Lazarus moved Yarla to Bogarthen, and while he was there he took the time to research everything about Ivy. Celep asked around the town to drum up a supply and demand list. Lothar found some better smugglers to help with the black powder venture, since his first contact was probably not up to the task. Now, I also heard that Lothar has gone up in the underworld, gaining a bit more respect and contacts. What happened with myself, you ask? Well, I tied up a load of loose ends and minor investigations that I was looking into. I was then hired by Sigurd to go undercover into the fighting pits to locate the brother of Tarm. I think this will be a welcome change, and who knows, I might learn a thing or two about fighting along the way. So, I get to fight some people, keep investigating, and Sigurd's got to foot the bill. Sounds like an ideal situation to me there. Now I suggest that you shift it, as Skullplate has come in and you're in his seat. Cheers.
We're in a session again. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Let's have some Rat Pack music. There we go. That's a bit better. Hello, players.
Hello.
Hey, players! Yay! Players are here. We've got we've got a different bunch today, and I think is someone missing from here? Do we have everyone? We got Rex, Sigurd, Skullplate, Lothar, Lazarus. Just to answer a potential query as to why did some players play some weeks and not others, it's because not everyone can make every week. So sometimes a player might miss several. Sometimes you might be like, well, I haven't seen this guy in ages. It's probably because they're busy or they hate us. Or I killed them. But yeah, here we are, and thank you again, Alien, or should I say Rex now, for your introduction. That was beautiful and very useful as well, because now you guys know what has been done in the endeavours, because, well, there's quite a lot happening outside of the sessions, and it's kind of the way the system works, but we wanted to really kind of make sure you guys are clued in, because a lot of the plottish stuff and the exploration happens outside, as well as the setting up NPC relations, etc. Because let's face it, we don't want to do all of that in the session, because then it would just be talky, Blair. So, on that note, we have... And forgetting Lothar. Yes. Well, hi Lothar. He is here, and he is going to be currently sat in the rat hole with the rest of the group. I will fill you in that 2 weeks have passed since the last session, and the witch hunter has arrived early on in the morning. I would say you are currently at around tensies, and your tavern is rather packed. You have far more people than have ever been here in recent times. Most of them are gossiping and chattering in the background regarding the witch hunter who is in town, and there is a sweaty, fearful look to them. I would say the sweat is almost, you can taste it in the air. There is a salty quality to it. Most seem terrified, and for those of you that have been in the Warhammer fantasy universe for a while and had the pleasure, the witch hunters will come to town, and when they do, the best thing to do is to keep your mouth shut and be quiet. Soren went out earlier this morning, Rex, a couple of hours ago. This was slightly before the witch hunter showed up. You've not seen him since. He didn't say anything. He just said, I'll be back in a bit, and buggered off. Sighard, you are also familiar with that, the recent rumour, not so much a rumour as an observation, that Lord Tarm's cart was seen leaving earlier this morning.
Of course.
And a degree of haste was made. So, currently, the group of you are within the tavern, enjoying, well, it technically is a free bar at the moment, so most of the others haven't indulged in breakfast ales. With a witch hunter afoot, there is other things on the town's mind, but there is certainly a lot of chatter in the background. Is there anything you would wish to be conversing about?
Okay, well first I'm gonna grab a set of 5, bring it to the table. On the table. Breakfast, gents.
Thank you.
We're gonna put that one on Celeb's tab, yeah?
Sounds good to me.
Anyone who is partaking can roll an easy consume alcohol check. Easy due to the strength.
Whoa! Oh, crap.
Love the sound effects coming here. Some nice ASMR coming out. Right, Lazarus barely holding it in. Sighard has had far better in the past. Skullplate could have 5 of these very easily. Rex could probably drink the whole barrel. And Lothar, you're just feeling a little bit lightheaded, but no penalties. Just even with a roll of 99, you have to fail a few before it hits you. But for whatever reason, maybe you've not eaten as much the past day or two, but for yourself, a little more lightheaded. And so, are there any conversations to be had this morning?
I don't like the fact that Soren hasn't come back yet.
Lilo.
Yeah, that's a little unsettling. It's in Santiago either.
I assume Santiago's upstairs folding your clothes. Making the place look pretty.
He's got his work cut out for him.
Can I roll either a gossip or a perception check to hear what everybody else is gabbing about?
Yeah, you can listen on it, and no one's particularly shy. Very easy.
Easy perception.
Either, really. It depends whether you want to talk or listen, but...
Just listen.
Okay. So, there are a couple of tales being shared by individuals. One older man is recalling that he believes this witch hunter in particular, and you would recognise this having bumped into him, is from somewhere up north. He carries with him a strange accent, unfamiliar to the land, but relocated down here for some reasons around about 3 years ago, maybe a little more. He is said to, as one of sort of his token traits, take a few individuals from every town he travels to into the next town and effectively burn them as a spectacle to remind the town as to, well, who he is and what he does. Typically, they're accused of being mutants, heretics, non-believers, etc., etc. A rather feared individual. You'd also hear that someone saw Soren basically just legging it outside of town for a bit. They don't know where he was going, but they just saw him running off.
I reckon that Soren, because he doesn't speak very well round here, would not be well received by said witch hunter. So he's legged it along with the bloody Lord of Tarm.
You think even those that do speak well would be well received by a witch hunter?
No, but when you can't even respond to a witch hunter, they just burn you anyway.
Well, true.
I think we're all fairly on point with why Tom ran off.
Yeah, chaos ivy growing under your basement. It's not a good look, is it?
I wonder if that means there'll be less of them at the mansion.
Yeah. I wonder if the
Yeah,
guard
I
will
don't
still
know.
be
Depends
posted.
how many guards he took with him, but
Could be a
there's
good
still
opportunity.
I don't want to take on.
Chamberlain's still wandering around.
I don't want to take on the guards. They're, from what I've heard, they're pretty hard bastards.
We could
Certainly
just
better
point-
equipped than we are.
We could just point the witch hunter at it.
You
You
want
know
to
how
try and
much
charm a
burn-
witch hunter? You go ahead.
Do you want to know
Never
how much
burn the whole town
paperwork
down.
you'd have to send?
I said point, nothing else.
Sicard, can you make me an easy perception test, please?
Maybe.
And also Lazarus, a challenging perception test.
That actually made it.
Okay, I think you did. Sigurd,
Yeah.
you hear a name in the air of Jeremiah. Jeremiah. It rings a bell, and it takes you a moment before you realise that this name is familiar to you. As one of the individuals who signed for the legitimacy of Lord Tarm's father's will. You don't remember anything else, but you did catch a few of the names that had signed the will, and that was one of them.
That's the witch hunter.
That is, the witch hunter is currently inside your town. Lazarus? Yes. Nothing happens. Nothing interesting.
I'm just thinking about poor Yarla.
I would comment, Lazarus, that after waking from your unusual experience collapsing in pain in the streets, aside from maybe a bruised ego from being dragged along town, well, after being pickpocketed, just a bruised ego, you feel fine. Nothing particularly unusual, which is curious.
Strange. Alright. Very interesting.
And so, any other conversations to be had?
How close are these other people to us? Is it fairly loud in here?
Yeah. Louder than the background noise would portray. Just,
So I'll kind of lean in and then pass on that share my information to Rex Lothar, and I'm sure whether or not Lazarus is even paying attention with that perception.
I'm probably just staring off into my beard.
But
Okay.
Jeremiah sounds awfully familiar. It sounds like one of the guys that signed off on the will for the current lord to take over.
Well, he's the twat who was chasing me around for a week.
Oh, this isn't the friendly one?
No, sir.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now I question this. But then I question everything. That's how I stay alive.
I wouldn't question him too much, though.
No. Not a figure speech.
From what I've heard, he don't care if you're noble or not. He'll go through the red tape just to do it.
He's probably going to be sympathetic to the current lord then,
Indeed.
if he's got family history with him.
I have a feeling pointing at the banner's not going to do much.
And probably get us burnt.
I'm with Lothar on that one.
Where's Soren?
Definitely
He's-
wasn't paying attention, was he?
No. It's all right, Lazarus. All right. Don't just remember, don't drink strange potions in the middle of the street. Drink them outside the door next time.
Gonna have to drag you as far then.
I don't know. Could have been like a really nice shot of moonshine or something.
Outside the
Alright.
door next time, though. Promise me that.
Sure.
Great.
You're only 16. Stop doing that stuff.
But I won't promise I won't drink strange things.
That's all I ask.
Drink here, of course you don't.
You're already drinking strange things. Oh, sorry, I wasn't meant to mention that.
By your side, Rex, a rather young female with a particularly flirtatious pose. Catches in on the conversation with you, having just seemingly butted heads with some gentleman she was conversing with, and exchanges with you that maybe Soren went to run into the woods with the others, as a fair portion of the town, perhaps some 50, have decided it's safer in the woods for a day, maybe two, than in the town. And she knows that Eamond had also gone to the woods alongside a fair degree of the hunting guild. Quite a few of the officials too had gone for a long stroll, let's say.
Right.
And a number of fearful peasants who knew themselves to be likely prey for a witch hunter.
Great.
Do they know something we don't?
They're just scared.
They may have the right idea.
Let's hope they don't go too far out in the woods.
Yeah, I'm thinking about them beastmans. Or the beasties. Sorry.
She does seem
Wild animals out there.
moderately impressed with the tales of your career change into being a pit fighter. She seems to be mildly swooned.
That's right. That's right, love. Looking to get into that, climb the ranks, be the best, and knock out that guy. I can't remember his name. I think it was. What's his name? Who's the champion at the moment? Who's he? Do you know?
She doesn't watch pit fights. They're a bit too violent for her, but she blushes, perhaps after seeing the odd muscle ripple, and quickly shies away back into the crowd, pretending to sort of eavesdrop back in. But she looks familiar to you. May have seen her around town, but
I'm gonna have to charge her like a silver an hour.
Hey, mate.
I'm gonna have to charge her like a silver an hour.
Look, mate. What I do on my time is up to me. I'm still looking for your man, and I'll tell you what, he ain't going to be in the grunt level. No way. So, you're going to have to wait. I'm going to have to work at it.
You're right. But I will make my money back.
I'm sure you will, rich boy.
there is a crack against the door as a few individuals step inside. Two of which seem to be largely undressed, aside from some leathers and parchment strapped to them. You would know these to be religious fanatics, not savoury individuals, and they're accompanied by a small but stocky halfling, perhaps could pass for a dwarf if the facial features weren't a little on the slim side, and a man that looks like he's perhaps bred partially with a troll. They do not say anything, but the room falls to a eerie silence as they begin to look around, survey the building. You can see them examining anything from the brickwork to the floor, and they take a few moments walking around in eerie silence. A few moments pass before one of the more zealous-looking individuals travels to each of the groups and begins physically assessing them, at least so you would guess from glimpses. They grab them by the hand, turn the palm over. Even some individuals are held by the jaw and their face turned side to side. They seem to be performing some form of inspection. Is there anything you wish to do?
I guess
I'm just watching.
Don't even watch. I just
Now's a good time to get lost in your point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, just stare down.
Lazarus, are you wearing a mask currently?
Yes.
Okay. I would say a minute passes of this awkward frisking within the room. Still an eerie silence. And you hear a shrill cry out of no before one lady is dragged outside by two of them. You hear some kicking and scraping. The rest of the room offer no resistance. They sort of slump in their chairs slightly as she is dragged outside. The individuals then return and resume their search, which eventually comes to you, Lazarus. In front of you, your mask is simply held by the beak and pulled from your face, with a lack of decorum or manners. Your face is then inspected incredibly closely. Do you say or do anything?
No. I just let it happen, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. You can feel a iron-like grip along your jaw. Thumb digging one side quite firmly into your cheek, and the rest of the hand fairly cold to the touch on your other. Your head is turned left to right several times, tilted either side. Your hands are then examined. If there were any gloves, they were removed. Before the process is then repeated for the rest in the room. I would say skull plate, you are not manhandled as much. They reach for a hand, but given that you're barely dressed as it is, they observe from a somewhat safer distance, although there is still an insistence to look at your hands. Although no words are spoken at this point, this is done more so by body language and gestures.
I'll show them my hands front and back.
Okay.
Whilst glaring at them, of course.
Okay. They meet your glare, and they pass your group by. No one else is taken, and the individuals disappear. The silence in the room takes minutes before it is broken. So, another drink, Sigurd?
Yep.
I suppose you would like me to pour them, your lordship?
Yes.
Coming right up. Anybody else?
Of course.
I raise my hand, and I'm going to place my mask back on.
I hold
Okay.
I hold 3 fingers up to Rex.
You can't have 3. I'll give you 2.
I'm gonna give it a miss after that last one, I think.
All right, mate. You can't
Bit
have
too much
I'll
rat
get-
in that.
I'll get you 2, Skull. Deal?
Fine.
Good. So yeah, again it's 5, but Skull plate gets low for the last one.
Okay. Another test. Sigurd, you could probably drink these all day. They don't come close to a fine bourbon.
That's it, very
The
easy
blood,
again.
blood pressure's burning off the.
Is it easy again, or very
Is it easy? Very easy?
Let's say easy.
I'm having 2. Does that make a difference?
Roll away. Yeah, roll twice. There we go. So far, going down exceptionally well. It looks like Soren's not going to have any alcohol left fairly soon. And yeah,
Literally
yeah,
water.
yeah. And skull plate. Do you just want the barrel?
Ah, yeah, please. Manly piss.
You just go. Would you crouch under it for a bit and just turn the tap on?
More decorum.
No,
than-
I want to bring the barrel over to a stool and just bang on the stool. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
I think I might wander over
Okay.
to the group where the woman got taken from.
There in an awkward silence right now, but they do sort of glance at you as you approach, most of them keeping their heads down, some looking more sorrowful than others.
Right, gents. Couldn't quite see, but who was that?
I kind of want to go
We
check.
got carted off.
Okay. Where are you going, Lazarus?
I want to go see where that lady got dragged.
You going outside? Or looking out the window?
Looking out a window, if I can.
Yep, there's upstairs and downstairs. You get a decent view of the town from upstairs. Easy done. No test required. Rex. Actually, we'll cover Lazarus first, as you can see the lady being dragged across the bridge to the other side of town at the moment, where you can see a pyre being formed. It seems that...
Is the pyre being built in front of the Lord's Manor?
To the side, just in front of your priestess's building. There is a small gathering there. Yeah, I'm not sure if I actually used the right word. A bunch of sticks and flammable stuff is being put together.
Okay. Well, I'd come back downstairs and let them know that there's going to be a party going on tonight. So, guys, the looks like those people are taking that woman to be burned, and it looks like they're going to burn down the shrine.
Pretty much what we expect.
Master Lazarus, have you ever seen this happen before?
Nope.
I would have suggested you stay inside tonight.
Okay.
Rex, gentleman by your right, member of the fishing guild, as evidenced by a large anchor for an earring.
Yep.
You're right. That was Mary.
What does she do in town?
Not a lot. She was just a filthy peasant. So we joked. He solemnly sips on some ale.
So you joked.
He looks defeated as he sort of half jokingly and half looking like the man may perhaps become tearful. She had airy hands. Reckon that's why he took her.
Right. Okay. Cheers for the info.
No problem. He goes back to sipping his drink.
I go back to our table. Box. So, that woman apparently got airy hands, so the guys reckon that's why she was nicked.
Witch hunters have probably burnt more for less.
Hmm.
Talking palms or top of her hands?
Want to go ask?
Nope.
I'd assume palms at this point. But then I wouldn't put anything past witch hunter's retinue. If it's slightly abnormal, they'll have you.
Yep.
Bit ironic considering that ugly wall of meat that walked in with them.
Well,
Thought they'd have burnt him.
yeah, but they're covered in piece of paper. Makes all the difference.
Which one was the witch hunter? The one that looked like he was bred with an ogre, or the
Neither of them.
halfling?
Yeah, neither of them, Rex, were familiar to you. Perhaps the one that looked like a troll was... You noticed him in the retinue before.
Yeah, so I know the half ogre one. Well, I don't know him. I don't have a pint with him or anything, but I know him from like a few weeks ago, about last month, I think it was. Jeremiah was on my tail for a long time, and I spent an entire week losing those bastards.
You're lucky it wasn't him that came in here then.
Oh, I'm sure he'll come pay me a visit. He knows where I live.
So it would be really bad to be seen with you then.
I doubt it. He's got it in for me, so.
Collateral's never been an issue for witch hunters.
I don't think it'll be an issue for him either to burn the entire town to the ground.
Well, there's that.
Just 'cause
Maybe
I'm
Soren was onto something.
Probably.
Skullplate just edging away.
Skullplate going back over for a beer.
Are you just drinking their beer as well now?
Just taking everybody's beer.
He's grabbing beer as he walks
He's
through.
just taking all of the beer.
Are you drinking that? I am. Right. Okay. So Skullplate has proven that dwarfs can just continually drink, although that was against a 95, so I do recognise your slight. But in the background, as you were glugging Skullplate, there is a small, or rather faint, scream. Faint, but present. And unlike one you've heard before.
There was a scream I heard just then with my dwarven ears. That's not a noise.
Outside or inside?
The scream is coming from outside across the town, in the direction of southeast.
Oh. Can I go
Okay.
upstairs?
It's a pyre.
You can poke out the window to see a fire has been lit, and atop it is a figure. It's hard to make out the details from here, but there is an unmistakable imprint of a person, perhaps two, atop of this. While looking out the window, what catches your eye is a lone figure walking down the street toward your side of town, and well, you recognise him as Engel, the local bailiff and tax collector. He begins ringing a bell. Sounds a bit like a dinner bell. It's something you guys will be familiar with. It's used to summon the town, effectively. Town meetings, town hall, large events. If the town is being summoned, the due diligence is to attend. A few individuals by the front door cautiously start stepping outside.
Alright then, lads. Drink up, 'cause this ain't gonna be pretty.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well,
Go.
And we slowly wander.
You make your way over. Okay.
Yeah.
So stepping outside, you can see more noticeably across the other side of town now, outside the Temple of Raya, there is a rather large bonfire that has been lit. Let me just deal with these wailing Slavs. We're a little bit too loud. There we go.
Sure that Santiago's coming too.
Si, senor. Right. There is a degree of smoke coming from this, and as you pass Engel, he instructs you to head toward the Temple of Raya. And a minute passes, and you arrive. There is more individuals than the tokens portray, at least in terms of the town, but you have in front of you probably some 20 to 30, a mixture of fanatics and thuggish looking individuals, varying in appearance wildly. There are certainly no uniform aside from those that are scantily clad, and apologies. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Sorry, Lothar. Sorry, Lothar.
Yeah.
We had a last minute change, but I forgot to do this scene with tokens anyway, so now we're correct. Perfect. Yeah. You were in here anyway, so I have no excuse. But I copied and pasted from one of the other scenes, and clearly the wrong one in my defence. Anywho, as you arrive at the scene, there is in front of you a large individual who is greeting those who arrive. But I would say something that catches your eye a little bit more is a figure that is roped currently, and by now long since perished, who is attached to the fire. You do not recognize them. They do not seem to be familiar in any sense to you. Not that you can make out much details, as the flesh is currently burning and peeling off of their bones, as they seem to have been lit for a few minutes.
Take a moment to do that. A signal a signar. Offer a prayer.
Okay. Marvellous. And in front of you, initially in silence, but once the majority of the town has gathered, this witch hunter, who you recognise, Rex, begins to speak. Welcome, everybody. It is a little bit cold here, so I thought I would treat you to some hospitality of my own. I hope you find it warming, and smiles. At the moment, the thugs to his left, to his right, none of them seem particularly fazed. They are all stood observing the crowd that is watching. Within the grounds of the Lord Tarm's estate, there are several guard. The tax collector has made his way inside as well, and you do briefly exchange eye contact with Theodosius Sigurd. You do recognise he has also come out to attend. And the witch hunter continues. There are several reasons I have come here today, and you will forgive my poor Reichspiel. I am not local, but I am learning. But give me time, and I will improve. I was curious that Blood Rock had been attacked several times, and thought to myself that maybe they had invited this upon themselves, and yet I find out that you are without any issues, which is obviously interesting to me. But if that were not enough to raise the suspicions of the town, there is perhaps a distinct lack of Sigmar within here. The temple is lacking. The shrines are absent from most of your taverns, and I feel that you could embrace him a little more. He's smiling creepily, I would say, as he talks, and most of those around you try and sort of avoid eye contact. There are other concerns, such as your Temple of Raya. I have seen holy sites become corrupt before, and this is... I think the word would be unholy. So I have some ideas to remedy your problem, but thanks to a conversation with a good friend of mine, Mr. Theodosius, we have an idea or two. But let me continue with the list of problems first. And that is obviously that you are missing your local witch, of which was not reported. Again, concerning, she is not here, and therefore I wonder to myself where she is. And it would seem you maybe have some form of... means of attracting them, given many of you, and I had heard from my own sources that there is another witch who had escaped locally. If you are not familiar, they are corrupt and were due to be burned. So, I think this is fortunate, however, that you have some mighty warriors within the town, and I would like to offer an opportunity for you to perhaps redeem yourselves to me and, of course, in the eyes of Sigma. So I would perhaps propose your troll slayers, I believe they go by the name, would perhaps assist myself, as I am incredibly busy today, in finding the witch in the hills. Some of the shepherds have told me there are some sheep missing. You will most likely find her close by. At this point, the crowd starts to sort of gradually shift and step away from you guys a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty awkward, and you're just left there, and quite a few times by this Rex, eye contact has been made with you, with like a little bit more of a crook in the smile.
I just repeat the signal at Sigmar and nod my head towards him.
Now, if there is anybody who would like to ask me the questions, one of the individuals by his... this chap takes a step forward and begins to... are you sure about what's going on? Is this entirely... A lack of gunshot, unfortunately. Let's make this a little bit more dramatic. He is interrupted mid-sentence and shot in the stomach. Now, if there are no more questions, I would suggest you head and go around your business. I have some wine sampling to continue with, and of course there are likely some more of you that I will take with me to the next town. He sort of gestures with his hand toward the five of you. I wish you the very best of luck in your travels, and as a bit of advice, witches should generally be killed, but I will, for this circumstance, suggest killing immediately rather than transporting. We can burn the body here, but if it is too much effort for you, you could always bring me the head. At which point he turns and begins to walk away with a number of thugs. A couple of your town members seem to be being sort of dragged along with them, and everyone disperses.
Looks like we're witch hunting, boys.
Yep.
I don't say
Alright.
anything. I just came back to the rat hole to get my stuff.
Back to the rat hole. Not
Okay.
talking, not going to say a word around this twat.
Yep. Back to the rat hole. Okay. A few individuals enter with you. There we go. Right. You're back at the rat hole. There's not a lot of ale left.
Okay. So I'm actually gonna like look behind me, and like if people are too close, I'm just gonna sort of go over there. Like,
Okay.
We want a conversation.
Okay. Motion everyone to the bar.
Yeah, motion everyone to the bar. All right. So, witch hunting it is, it seems. Have we got any plan? Any idea? Has anybody heard anything other than what he just said?
Well, he said there were sheep going missing, so we find where the sheep are going missing. She shouldn't be too far.
No idea what she looks like.
But that could be anything.
Well, if they're dangerous, they're obvious, right?
The thing is, we've got to come back with something. That's the thing.
Yep. There's no skirting around this one.
We have to come back with something. We cannot come back empty-handed. So.
Here,
Okay.
the strike's nice this time of year.
I know a guy who owns a bar out there.
Ah,
Yeah.
like a better plan to me.
We can't leave him hanging though. He'll burn the whole lot to the ground.
Say I didn't try.
Admittedly, I was thinking the same thing at one point for a second. But
They just follow.
exactly, they know who we are.
Yeah, and since he's talking to his good friend Theodosius, I have a feeling there's probably a setup as well.
He's gone wine tasting, so that must mean they have a cellar.
Oh, remember, I told you Theodosius is open threat as I was leaving.
Yeah.
This happened. So
Funny how a witch hunter comes to town after you go to visit the Lord of Tarm.
Funny how the Lord of Tarm's absent when the witch hunter turns up.
And let's not forget, he signed the papers.
So it's all coming together, isn't it? Coming up trumps to the Lord of Tarm right now.
I'm gonna go get my armor on.
I'd say that's a good idea.
Okay.
We're going to gear up.
Gear
I'm
up.
gonna have Santiago gear up too. I'm not leaving him in town by himself.
Okay.
On for the road, Skull?
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll just have a little bit of drama music while you're gearing up. Nah, it's not dramatic enough. How about this one? There you
Now
go.
we fail.
Finally, it
Rex did.
happened.
No, Rex did.
Yeah, it looks like most of the good stuff was right at the bottom of the barrel, Rex, so you get a bit of sediment, I guess.
Oh, I could chew that.
And so, Santiago does inquire whilst you are upstairs dressing. What would you have me do, senor?
I'm gonna fill him in and we're gonna have to go out and hunt this witch for this witch hunter. I don't trust the local establishment to not come after you while we're gone, so I'm gonna have you come with us.
Si, senor. He reaches into a drawer by the side of your bed. The only drawer in the building. The rest are just boxes. And pulls out a couple of knives. Si, senor. I will stay close.
I keep everybody waiting.
He also dons his leather armors, I believe, and loses and his and swishes his sword that he has recently been gifted left and right, and he does so with a little bit of a flourish, and you see the sword sort of spin in his hand in the way that only an Astalian can do. Thank you again, senor. You are very kind.
Nada. Go hunt a witch.
See. And so, we shall add... Where are you, Santiago? Santiago, who is giving Lothar the eyeball currently. I love his expression. And his eyebrows.
Oh, it's awesome.
At least Santiago remembered Lothar was there.
That's true.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
The
Right.
one that can see me.
So, gentlemen, what is the plan?
I guess head out to where the sheep were, I guess. Is there any clue?
Do we even know what she looks like?
From the gossip you had previously, you did know that no one knew what she looked like because she had a bridle.
Oh, Skull's bridle on.
Yes, so no one was quite sure.
And I'm not going to go back and ask for a description, so...
We know the direction, let's just see what we find.
I mean, worst case scenario, we can just find somebody to put a bridle over.
That's odd.
Case
coming
scenario,
from-
we run into a lot of
That is a
beastmen.
very disturbing comment.
So I would comment for general lore and geography, hashtag roll or geology, that the shepherds are primarily to the east, whereas you were headed sort of northish toward the woods with the elf. So you know you're across the river in some ways, not too far from the mining territories, but more sort of the lower hills.
Are we talking where the Beastman line is?
No, other direction.
Cool.
Yeah, it would be like a 90-degree difference from the town, so not particularly close.
Right.
So, what's the plan?
Do we walk, or do we see if we can get some sort of carriage?
How far away is
How
it?
far away are we talking? Yeah.
Hour's walk? Bit more? It would be a weird distance to get a carriage for.
Walk.
Yeah, it'd be like too expensive for that distance.
I don't know. It'll be me paying.
Let's walk it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Once we get outside the gates, I'm gonna suggest that we stagger in case there is an ambush.
Well, after Rex's last drink, I think he will be staggering.
Hey, I could chew that one. That's how bad it
Right.
was, mate.
If you could all stand...
got a bit of rat in it.
Yeah.
Right, who's buggered off? Right, there we go.
Take off the
I'm going to
top.
copy pasta your tokens so I have the correct ones for this week. And we are going to go to headed east, provided it still works. There we go. There we
listen.
go.
Just as we're walking down the road. Now listen, we're talking about a guy who uses rats in his first aid kit, all right? You know, the beer sometimes is a bit dodge.
You've got a little bit
I
of
will
hair
have
hanging
to pick up
out.
a physician's book eventually.
It all tastes like water to me.
Agree with Skullplate on this one.
You've drunk out some really piss poor rivers.
Oh, the piss rivers taste better than that beer. But beer's beer.
I was about to say you're more than welcome to the rivers, mate.
It's sterile.
Rivers are not sterile.
No, the
Or
beer.
that beer.
Not sure about the beer there, mate.
Alcohol.
It's been watered down with river water and had a rat in it.
About 5 to 10 minutes into your journey, there are a few individuals that are gathered around some trees, clearly villagers that moved outside, and you pass by Soren Rex. Heyo!
Right, to start rolling, or
Not yet. That's hello.
okay.
The
Oh,
basics
Soren.
come easily to you. Hey,
Where are you, mate? I can't see you.
hey. Steps forward from underneath the tree, holding a tankard and a small barrel of ale under his shoulder.
Well, at least you have the essentials.
Wait. Dingy Frankie Mundo. Very easy, Wastelander, just for the whole conversation rather than multiple rolls.
Righto, language, wasteland. Very easy.
Yeah.
Go. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, he didn't fancy dying today.
Yeah, I can appreciate that, mate. But I think you might need to restock the rat hole.
The witch hunter doesn't burn it down first.
Yeah.
Apparently you're missing a shrine.
Hey.
We'll take care of that next time.
Yeah, he says in return, as payment for drinking all of his ale, you hang on. Let me do something first. Hang on.
I didn't drink all your ale, mate.
He stood fairly close to you, like as a group, And given that you've had like 8 pints, like a few of you at least stink of ale. Like it smells. It's. He's like, yeah, sure. Go buy me a shrine. Or maybe have one made. I don't know. I don't even know what they look like. It goes back to sipping his beer.
All right, mate. We'll see what we can do about that. I did get you that broom after all.
Hey. Well. Ayo.
See you later, mate.
Good luck in whatever the hell you're doing.
You ain't gonna believe it if I told you.
Mate.
Stay out of sight.
Yeah.
Fair enough. He slumps back down by a tree and says cheers in response. I'll see you later tonight, assuming you're not dead.
Correct. They ask you if they've seen anybody else come through here before us.
Oh. Well, you can ask him. It's just in case he'll talk back.
There's a bunch of other people there too.
Yeah, you can. All right.
Sometimes. Ever.
Can you repeat that, please?
But I can't understand a word that comes out of that man's mouth sometimes. Ever.
Yeah, but you can see them.
Okay, that's the other people.
There's about...
Hey, sorry, how many people are there?
20.
So there's about 20 people, so got.
I meant like armed people coming through.
No, I haven't seen any.
We're a bit close to the town. We're nowhere near where the witch was seen.
It's not around and draw more attention.
Move on, see if we find someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to find. If anybody sees a witch just outside of town, the witch hunter would have found them themselves.
Although he's too busy drinking wine, so.
A man steps forward after hearing those words. Did somebody see a witch?
Yep.
Depends, what have you seen?
Right. Well, I know this other guy, right? His sheep have been going missing. They weren't my flock, obviously, because, you know, I'm quite diligent and all that, but...
Or you are.
Yeah, a few of his flock went missing, and he was saying that, you know, something weird was going on. I don't know. But, stuff.
Do you know where he is?
Aye, he's up in the, over there. Points up, like, fairly far up a large hill. He's round about there somewhere. I mean, look for the sheep and you'll find him. There's a shed. You can't really miss it if you go up the top.
Thanks to the directions.
No problem. If you, Hail Sigmar.
We're not witch hunters, mate.
Fair. Well, you'll need the Hail Sigmar then, I guess. Good luck.
Continue up the path.
Okay.
In the direction he pointed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of path, then up a hill, the trees start to become slightly less dense, the terrain slightly more rocky, but most of the hills in this area have shepherds all over them, but each has a degree of a turf. It's not officially allocated, it's just sort of a gentleman's agreement. But you head uphill to the area in question. I would say round about onesies.
Right.
Yep.
I just want to remind you of the Sixth Sense too.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Thank you for the reminder. It will be noted. I tell you what, just do a roll now to make you paranoid. Just roll it to GM though, so you can't see. So instead of clicking public roll, do private GM roll. I believe that was a perception test. No, intuition. Perception. We'll do perception for this.
Is that just for...
Just for Sighard, this is like his barnacles start itching when someone's about to try and kill him. Challenging.
Not gonna go well. It didn't go well.
Oh yeah, you can actually see the result. Well, it seems fine anyway. All is well. That reminds me to do the rolls before the session, if we're having 3D dice. But you start heading up the hill. Is anyone doing anything in particular? Does anyone have any conversations to be had, or are we fast tracking to the top of a hill?
Ooh,
Just keep
lore
an eye
plants.
Hey.
You can roll. Do you want to just see what plants there are?
Yeah.
Sure, roll lore plants.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Save the day. Challenging, easy.
What do you want to know? Just like how to name the plants you're walking past?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. Easy.
Barry, Liam.
Push.
Wow.
Damn!
Right.
I know all the plants.
You're like, this one's a conifer, these are known as evergreens. Did you know that the bark of this one is home to 3 different types of insect? So, most of you now have gained the trait animosity to herbalists.
Yeah, hang on, I'm just doing something. Okay, that's okay.
Okay, you pass your cool test. Okay, so you put up with him sort of rattling off about plants. Yeah. Okay. Right. So, we move forward to you being at the top of a hill. You can see around you a few sheep, sort of slightly down the other side toward the mountain, and a shed. There is a little bit of smoke coming out. Around there is no fence, but there's probably some 20 or 30 sheep.
Alright.
I think it's safe to just say you approach. There are some trees around, not many, mostly rocky terrain by now, much more mountainous, but the sheep and goats here don't really mind. But the door is closed, but there is clearly a fire inside.
Okay. So, here we are. Shall I knock?
May as well.
You could just stand outside the door and wait.
Well, I'm afraid there might be a troll inside, you see.
The door opens.
Remarkably civil.
After you stood there talking to each other for a bit outside of a door, the door opens. What do you want?
Oh, mate. Apparently you've been having sheep go missing.
Yeah. About 5.
Five.
Yeah, carcasses and all.
So there'd been no trace of them.
Oh, there's a trace, you could say. I ain't
Blood
seen
trail,
anything
innit?
like it before. I've seen some, the occasional wolf comes by, drags off a little one, but I agree. I didn't bother clearing it up, so there's a bit of frozen mutton up over there, points towards a sort of tree line, and some 50 yards away.
Okay.
Did all 5 go missing in the same area?
Well, sort of, yeah, in a word. This is my area, so yeah.
Did you hear anything?
In the night, a sheep going, wah!
Very odd noise for a sheep to make.
You've never heard a sheep scream. Not like that, anyway.
Oh, you're telling me.
Okay. Alright then. I'm gonna go over there. I'll stop. Well, have a look before I sort of go for a closer look.
Okay. A look from a distance, You can see some pink snow around a sort of a mound of snow.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in the tree line.
Yeah, what's anything behind the trees?
You can roll a perception if you like. I would say average. It's daylight. The trees aren't as dense as they quite appear here, slightly less. And Rex with the eyes of a hawk and the ears of, I don't know, a musician. You're certain you're alone. You can't see anything unusual, just trees. I assume you're still at a distance at this point, yes? Or have you gone close?
Yeah.
Okay. From a distance, I would say, given you got +5, you can see there is some pink snow in the woods as well.
Okay. So, like, the pink snow goes maybe what? From what I can see, a couple of feet in?
More like sort of 10, 15 yards. You see a little splooge between some trees.
Right.
Gonna get jumped by Ungor again, are we?
Oh, I am.
After you, then.
Yeah, I will go closer to the splooge area.
I'll go with Rex.
Want me to go first, Manling?
Feel free, mate.
I'll move ahead of him to make sure there's nothing coming for us.
All right. Stepping forward in formation.
Attack behind.
Would you like to assemble yourselves into your formation?
I guess.
Something like that.
Looks like a penis.
Okay. Wait, no. Santiago's
so,
just...
So we're doing that, are we?
I don't know. Well, that looks pretty good. There you go. That's
there
good.
we go.
Protect the noble. Protect the noble. All from all sides. Okay. So you fall into formation and you slowly approach this. Rex, you're pretty confident you're completely safe. Sighard, you feel fine. And as you approach, you do not need to make a roll to see half of a lamb in front of you. A full-grown one as well.
Rocky.
And another one next to it. This time, maybe a residual leg that seems to have been left of a younger one.
Guessing everything's torn, like as in it's all torn, not cut.
Can we examine it?
You can roll. Yeah, I will say you can roll an easy perception test, Rex. Because it is quite evident that this has been torn. There are chunks taken out of this. This hasn't been cleaved with a blade.
I really evaluate to see if this is still edible.
Footprints?
Footprints. That will take a outdoor survival and will be challenging. Just because it's been slightly snowing for the majority of the morning. And if anyone is assisting, you can have assistance.
Oh,
I'll help him.
Okay. Well, they need a lot of help, to be fair. Okay. Okay, so Lothar does manage to track on to what looks to be a lot of paw prints. Loads of them. Heading off into the woods. The others seem to struggle to make them out as they've been partially filled in, but you see lots of different sized ones, and you agree with Rex that there does seem to be a blood trail heading off into the woods.
With the paw prints.
With the paw prints. And
So what do we reckon, Lothar? Pack of wolves?
Fair chance, if it's been ripped apart. But you would have thought you'd have heard something. Wolves don't generally do. They're not known for their ninja qualities.
They're usually pretty loud bastards.
Yeah, they'd be howling, snarling.
Unless...
they also leave a kill behind.
It was like chaos.
That's true.
Unless they're being controlled.
But there's no other prints. There's no human footprints.
Doesn't need to be. I'd imagine.
Not if they're being controlled by a witch.
Maybe.
Okay.
Well, we've only really got one choice.
Yeah. Gentlemen, shall we?
Let's follow these prints.
Follow the prince.
Okay, we follow the prince. And on that note, I think we'll take our 5-minute bio actually halfway through a session for a change, before returning and seeing what happens in the woods. So, peace and love to everyone in chat. We will be back in 5 to 10 minutes. I look forward to seeing anything in chat as a little added bonus in future. And thank you to you all. We have become monetized. So, no, I'm not selling out. You can't influence the show by donating anything. But if there are any super chats in future, I'll probably read them out halfway through. And do a little Q&A for a couple of minutes before we kick off again. But that's more on that next week. For now, we're all going to go do bio things. Ciao. Hey, ladies and gents, welcome back. Now we continue with stuff and things happening with the group. We have right now the group travelling through the snow, through the hills in search of a witch, following the trail of some wolves. Currently, Rex, you are stood atop some rocks, eyeing your surroundings. You can certainly roll a perception roll, I would say average, and I will roll some dice to make it ominous.
So it begins.
Yep. As soon as it mattered.
Oh, no. And Skullplate and Lothar leading ahead, Lazarus staying sort of between Sighard and Santiago, a little further back. Now at this point, let me just do a blind GM roll for something. And... Do you get a sound for that?
No.
Okay. Can everyone roll me a D100, please? I'll roll one for Santiago, because I'd like to participate. Go, Santiago.
I choose you.
Oh, was mine hidden? Yeah, mine was hidden. Public. Okay, Santiago again. Right. Lazarus... Thorg, i.e. Sighard, and Rex by 1. As you are stood there observing your surroundings for a moment, you hear a whisper in your ear. Rex, it seems like it's coming from behind you, the other side of some rocks. Lazarus, the tree that is right next to you, it sounds to you as if there is someone the other side of it. And Sighard, behind you, you hear a voice. The language isn't recognised to you. It's a uncomfortable, whispered murmur in your ear, the direction of which seems to continually change from your left to your right, in front of you, behind you. The words are unrecognisable, but it's some demented chanting. It's the sound of a woman. That much you can tell. Can you each roll me a cool test, please? Challenging.
Is that just the ones that can...
Just the 3 that were affected. Okay. We have 1, we have 2, and we have someone bodging all the dice all over the place. Okay.
Jesus.
So Rex and Sighard, though distracting...
I would like to re-roll that if
Okay,
that's
take a re-roll if you like. Sure thing. We'll wait for the re-roll.
Hey.
There we go.
Okay. Much better. Though distracting, you recognise it as being so. And you're able to keep your wits about you and focus on your surroundings for a few moments. And as the group of you are sturdying yourselves, these voices coming from all around, seemingly up ahead, Skullplate and Lothar and Santiago, unaffected by this, from underneath a tree, you see a large figure of a wolf appear. I would say that this strikes you as somewhat unusual, as it is the size of a pony. Alongside it is a lady. By her side, another small wolf. Behind her, another small wolf, and to her side, or her flank rather, yet another. The whispers intensify for a moment as the wolves begin to leap forwards. And we will go ahead and cue the dramatic music. But all of you manage to avoid being surprised, which is good, because you don't lose a round of combat, which is incredibly helpful if you want to live. Right. We can just assume that this is Slavic witch music. And we will... I need to delete this encounter. Doink. Doink. Apologies, because we had a player change. I had this all set up. There we go. And we will roll all. Chow, 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 chow. Right. Rex. Stood atop your rock, you see in front of you these wolves emerge from the forest. A lady in amongst them.
So, lads, I think we found a witch.
Thanks, Sherlock.
Oh, fuck.
Was she still wearing that bridle thing?
She's still wearing the bridle thing. You have about 5 seconds, Rex. You could, in theory, charge. There are probably some other options, and if you need a hand regarding rules, let me know.
All I'm gonna do is I'll just advance along me rock a little bit.
Yep.
And I'm gonna do another perception check to see if there's any more wolves that we can't see.
Quickly survey your surroundings for hidden wolves. Yeah. Roll me that perception test. You've gone up on a rock, so you can make this an easy test. Which I think is just about a pass, which is opposed, sadly, by stealth, if there is something stealthing. Oh. You would never know, but you are pretty confident that everything is fine. And you're atop a slightly taller rock. Sorry, we need to click begin, and then we go to this one. There we go. Right. We will go... I'm going to toss a coin between Lothar and Skullplate. Tails is Skullplate. Is it cocked for anyone else?
Heads for me.
It was heads.
Okay, heads for Lothar. Well, that's not the worst thing to happen. And you certainly weren't forgotten. As a wolf of average size charges out toward you and lunges. Roll well, my pretty. Oof. Or roll badly. It had a +10 to that, but it really doesn't matter. You can dodge, you can parry, you can do as you please, but that will be enough. The wolf charges in and you win your test, gaining 1 advantage from the wolf as you easily parry it to the side. Let's pop out this combat tracker. There we go. Right. Another wolf. This time for... These things have an immense movement range. This one on Santiago comes charging in. Do you want to roll for Santiago? Oh, you don't have his character sheet, do you? That's right, because he is mysterious. And a stallion. Okay. Right, a roll for a wolf, not a particularly good one. And Santiago will roll his hand weapon in defense, which... Okay. Oh. Coming charging in to Santiago's side, the wolf lunges at his head. In front of you, Lazarus. Santiago is taken off of his feet by a wolf snapping at his throat with his hands barely holding the jaw off of him. And so, the Santiago's go in return, who will attempt to stab the damn thing.
Ooh.
Well played, that man. Well played.
Ooh.
And a critical as well. Oh, oh no! With the critical still applies. Arterial damage, wounds 3. Okay.
Ow.
So, okay, losing all advantage. However, so basically he stabs and slashes at this wolf that's on top of him, and you start to see blood just pouring out from one of the arteries, clearly nicked in the beast's joint, Lazarus, but it is still snapping away at his face. And next we have... Oh my god. Wolves do have really good initiative, to be fair. Skullplate. A very large wolf the size of a pony. Comes...
my axe.
Well, I think it wants to taste your ginger beard. Let's see how he does. Good luck.
Alternatively to ginger beer.
Okay. a respectable roll. Skullplate, you may defend. There will be no modifiers because it will apply the -20 automatically. And that is enough to successfully defend, safe to say. Yes, you win by 1 SL, gaining yourself 1 advantage. You are alive. You have avoided damage. For now, congratulations. Lazarus, your bow is at the ready. What would you like to do?
What's my penalty for helping Santiago if I shoot?
-20, but you are point blank as well, so it would be +40 in total.
I would like to shoot then.
Okay, you're going to try and shoot it off of him. Good luck. And please do not forget to target. So double right click or whatnot to bring up the little doobly-doo. Thank you for the doobly-doo, it just makes my life easier. And then short bow and just put a 40 in there for me, please. Right, no worries. You forgot the 40, so that would be... What we'll do is just edit that, 3, and that will go to a 75. Doink. There you go, that's a little bit better. Because it's point blank, technically it does oppose this, but it kind of works out okay because it means that you can, in theory, inflict more damage. So it will dodge out the way, or attempt to, and doink, you can only dodge at point blank. You still win by 3 SL. Okay.
Headshot, nice.
Yeah, it goes into the side of the beast's head. I'm going to say piercing through its jaw, because otherwise the visualization of it still being alive is a bit difficult. But it's snapping away at Santiago, but with immense difficulty now. The beast seems to be nearly dead. And Sighard, what would you like to do, my friend?
I'm going to get him off of Santiago.
Assist Santiago. You outnumber this beast 2 to 1, so you can charge and you outnumber it, so +30 in total for me, please. Good luck.
Plus what?
30.
It's challenging, +30.
Ignore the ranges on this, it's not to scale, so whatever it says as yards aren't real. +30, that's all. Right, and a defense. Oh, a very good roll against a fairly good roll, and definitely enough to smite the creature. You can. How do you deal with this enemy mounting Santiago?
It's just a quick pull out of it and lunge like a musketeer.
A quick pierce through the heart. The creature falls lifeless on the floor in front of you. The witch will now... Nope. You don't know what she's doing. But Rex, I would say you're kind of not stupidly busy with wolves right now. You kind of hear her chanting something. Nothing happens, but she's making noises and it's quite unsettling. On that note, Skullplate. In front of you is a big dog.
I'm going to fight the big dog.
Okay. Do as you please.
I have one advantage, yes?
Yes, so that will be... and you get +10 to hit because it's big, so you'll be on 20 in total.
Excellent. Here we go. Oh dear.
Okay, because it's a beast, it has to dodge.
Wait, can I...
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Use my
Okay.
combat.
Yeah, you can. So, I mean, you did win anyway. It's up to you if you want to use it.
No, I didn't.
But... so
No,
you...
Versus 89, I didn't really do any damage, did I?
Yeah, you did 10.
You did 10.
You do some damage.
Oh, okay, we'll leave it at that then.
Okay, you can save that. I mean, bearing in mind you can use that for your defense as well, so... there we go. A decent amount of damage as you crash your weapon into the left paw of this wolf as it's trying to, well, snap you in half, basically. A good job. And Lothar, it's you to go.
I was going to take a swing at the one in front of me.
Swing away with your knuckle dusters of doom.
I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, not bad.
Nice. Nice.
crit.
Ah, crit as well. Disgusting.
And against
Oh
95.
my god. Okay, I think that
Jesus.
is just
I think these are holy relic knuckle duster.
okay. Yeah. Wow. These are blessed 14 damage. That's without the yeah. Like, what do you do to this animal?
What did I hit it?
In the body.
Yeah, smash it in the ribs, probably crushing its chest with that.
Lothar Iron Fist, I think an apt name. Yeah, you basically crush it. And
Lothar the Iron Fist.
it falls lifelessly in front of you, seemingly stunned with several ribs shattered. Like, you get the impression you might have even stopped the creature's heart with that hit. And so... Following from that, Lothar... I mean, Rex is on a rock, and you did just kill his buddy. Coming charging at you is another. This one hoping to be a little bit more lucky. And it is going to bite.
Oh.
That's a good roll.
My second advantage.
I'm capping it at 1 per round. So
Case.
a rule set still in debate, but I'm thinking of releasing that, but then burning it when you use it. 10
Might have to re-roll that.
will be up to you. Thus far.
Oh,
Oh dear. Corruption for another reroll. It doesn't look like it will be down in 1 hit, but it is going to be a hell of a lot of damage. Are you sticking with?
no. I'm going to...
Corruption reroll. A better
And then
roll.
see what that does. Yeah.
Okay, we'll deal with the corruption later. Right. From Iron Fist to...
Wet noodle.
doink. After your toughness, decent chunk of damage. And where did it bite you? On your right arm, you now have a wolf's teeth sinking into it, going straight through. You have some leather on there, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you now have some leather with holes in it, as the teeth are basically drawing blood and sinking in deep. Right. Rex.
So, I'm going to get down from my rock and
Yep.
charge the witch.
Okay. Charge away, sweet prince. Okay. Barrel roll for flair, or...
A barrel roll for what?
Barrel roll for flair as you jump down. A quick roly-poly.
Oh, athletics.
Yes. No, well... Very. It was only like 5 feet high. I'm not going to make you roll for that, although a part of me thinks I should. So anyway, you've charged the witch.
Yep.
Oh, this is loud.
Whoa.
Shit's getting serious. Hoi! Okay, let me adjust the volume, but do your thing. That will just be your 10 for a modifier.
And modifier, challenging. Hey, not bad.
Not bad at all. And in response, oof. Oof. What does she even have? Oh my god. Okay. Right. A decent go at defending, but not enough. So,
I hamstring her.
yeah. A decent chunk of damage on her as her right hamstring gives way. You hear a shriek, and at this point blank to her, you can see a degree of her mouth seems to have come loose from this, from which she is whispering in your direction. You notice her eyes are black, her hair jet black as well, and she looks particularly pissed at you.
Ears.
Ears are not pointy,
Great.
if that was what you wanted to know.
That's exactly what I wanted to know.
I'm glad I can mind read that. So we have one dead wolf here, so that won't be having a go. And so you're there. Well, this wolf is dead, and
We've killed 2 of the wolves.
yeah. Wow, there you go. Santiago. Yeah, I lost track of the second one you killed. Santiago quickly stands up, brushes the snow off of himself. Thank you, senor. And jumps on top of the large wolf that is currently chomping into, or trying to chomp into, skull plates. He'll gain his advantage for charging. And he is going to try and stab this blighter. He's going to get a 20 bonus because it's large. And, oof, there go my frame rates. Did he roll twice? Okay, well, we're taking the first, obviously. Although the fumble would have been funny. There's not been enough fumbles recently. And we're going to be rolling one of these in defense. So, let's see how Santiago does. Oh, a decent go from the wolf, but... No. Bad. I've got a little bit of a delay with this, so... Hey, there we go. Okay. In front of you, Skullplate, Santiago leaps onto the creature's left arm and begins stabbing several times with a small knife. In a rather unelegant fashion, but he does appear to be sort of tearing into the creature. Right. In response, the wolf is going to bite him back. And so... Goodbye, sweet Santiago. Oh, piss.
It might be.
It might be. Shit. Dodge or parry. What's going to work better for here? He's going to... He's going to parry with his knife. It's not enough.
Still going to take some.
Okay. Oh, dear. He's got 2 wounds left. Santiago lives.
Santiago, fall back.
Well, the leather armor clearly paid off. It's actually saved him from a critical injury right now. Lazarus, how's it going, bud? What are you up to?
Can I force a potion down Santiago's throat?
I would say as he's being bitten by a wolf right now, no. If he wasn't the target of an attack that's currently happening all simultaneously to this, I would say you can kind of go stand behind him and be like, yo, take this. And on his next go, he will be able to quickly drink it. But I have to call the line somewhere with right. BS combat healing in a fantasy setting.
You can pull him out.
You could. He hasn't... Yeah, the trouble is, if he leaves combat, the wolf gets to attack him for free. So, yes. Let's have a plan.
Okay, well then, I guess I'll just move over. I can't move my guy.
I'll just... There you go. Where are you going?
Because I'm imagining this is a rather large rock that I cannot...
Can't see over that one, but yeah, you can step to the side. You get a fairly reasonable line to the wolf.
Yeah.
It will be plus 20 in total, given that you're trying not to hit Santiago or Skullplate, and you've kind of only got the rear end of the wolf you can see. Either way, it's dancing around your allies right now, and you don't really want to hit them. So fire away.
Fire at the brown bullseye.
What we will do, critical failure, is reroll that.
That would have been a broken bow. Twang! Okay, a reroll.
Oh dear, it's still happening.
Okay.
Well, you didn't break.
Good news. You don't hit Santiago or Skullplate, and you get to keep your crappy bow. Bad news. Twang! The arrow just sort of limply goes over the top. This is all a little bit fast. Sighard in front of you, Santiago, is bleeding. His bushy eyebrows look towards you innocently, his eyes wide open.
Can I interpose?
You can basically jump in as well. He'll still count as engaged, but I would allow... Normally there's a mechanic where you can do an athletics test to leave combat. I will allow you to roll an athletics test to interject between the two of you. An average one. Against the wolf's weapon skill. That's the best I can offer.
Do I still have my modifier?
You did kill a wolf, so you do now. Right. What are you going to do?
I will try to interject. Didn't.
Okay, well, let's see what he rolls as well. You would have a -1 to beat. With 1 fortune added to that SL, you would beat him. Yeah, job done. You step in, interject. That will be your action for the round, but Santiago is safe.
Then I do defensive now.
Afraid not. That will count as an action.
Fine. Sounds good.
But you managed to basically... You don't take any damage. Santiago didn't take any damage. And Santiago's not dead.
I'm done.
By you, Rex. We're going to do a... Oh. Yeah, okay. We're gonna do this. We're gonna try this anyway and see how this works. She's going to try and outwit you into leaving combat effectively. She wants to run away, so well, you just have... If you make me a weapon roll and do better than +4, she ain't going anywhere. You head her off, but...
What? Sorry? What?
So basically, just like the two... She's trying to get away from you right now, and you see this. Yeah. So you can roll me an attack effectively to try and contain her with you, or to prevent her leaving. Right. She's not going anywhere. She tries to run, but this is... not working. You've seen someone in your recent pit fights trying to bolt, and you quickly step around and interject. She is going nowhere. Skull plate.
I've got smacky on wolf.
Smacky on wolf. Okay.
Is it still +20?
Yes. Yes, +20 in total.
Boom.
A decent hit, a not so good defense, and a decent amount of damage.
That's death.
And a dead wolf. What do you do to this creature's left arm?
So as it tries to smack me with its left paw, I catch it as it comes down, and then with my empty hand and my other hand, bring the axe up right up underneath where the leg connects, and cleave straight through.
Nice.
It's not a clean cleave, so I have to pull really hard, and as I do it, its heart pops out of its chest.
Doink. Sure. Why not? Both are, buddy.
Yep. See if I can repeat last time.
Yes. You've got one wolf in front of you. A decent roll.
Finish that?
A attempted dodge, which is not particularly good, and a reasonable amount of damage to it. Very nice. A decent jab at its left shoulder blade. The creature reels back a little bit. It hisses at you. And now it's going to try and bite you in return. And, of course, you do gain your advantage for that, which will aid in your defense. Live, Lothar. Oh, well, you're fine. Can you make me roll and just do better than that awful one? Yeah, you're fine.
No.
Well, you tried to fail. You tried pretty hard, but 95 does kind of lose. So, Rex, in front of you is a hissing woman trying to escape.
Right. I'm just going to be like, pack it in and just keep attacking her.
Shut it.
Shut it, you slag.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, she is a witch, so this is permissible within the context of the setting. Right. Fire away. And... Okay.
I'm gonna take a...
Wait.
She is going
Oh, boy.
to. Is there anything else she can do? She's.
Die.
I've done fuck all damage with that.
She is going to, in response.
Well, you could just add a +1 SL with a fortune.
She's
Might
going
be
to
enough.
respond with Murmured Whisper and effectively try and distract you from being able to do this by, like, screaming in your eardrums. So a bit of a weird one.
Ow.
Okay, so an incredibly good roll. That's basically her only means of defending herself, but I'm afraid that incredibly distracting. It doesn't do anything to you other than cause an excruciating amount of noise in your ears.
Right.
I'm afraid it puts you off of hitting her. You can do the re-roll, but with a SL of +6.
Nah, I ain't gonna do shit to her.
Okay. However, she is still locked in combat. And yes, Dart is OP. However, she's alive, which was higher priority to her. Santiago is going to thank you very kindly. Ask Sighard to not move instead of his token, because Santiago's mouse is currently having issues.
Tell Santiago to run to me.
He's going to go help. I'm sorry. He's too much of a Chad. He
Help if he doesn't bollocks the roll, though.
yeah. Okay. Santiago basically leaps in for this wolf, goes straight over the top of it and into a rock.
Bounces off the cliff.
Lazarus, it's you to go.
Can I get some fucking help?
10, 15, 20.
Ignore the squares, just tell me where you want to go. Don't worry about squares equal movement, so just tell me what you're thinking.
Actually, I got the keyboard.
He's drunk.
I'd like to
Quickly changes its mind back the other way.
I'm gonna shoot this.
Okay. So we'll take a. You're trying not to hit her. You're trying not to hit Rex here. So you're gonna just have a challenging roll this time.
Rex is so dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna die from friendly fire.
Twow! The arrow just disappears several feet above her head, but you didn't hit Rex.
Thank you so much.
Sighard.
He's helping.
Hey, you know what? The past 2 fights, I was excellent.
Right, there we go.
At this point off.
You
Go
charge
Switch.
forwards. You have your. You have a large amount of advantage right now. There you go. You have a +50 in total. And she's going to counter you by attempting to distract you as well, but she's so dead.
I don't know.
You're basically on like +50, I think.
Oh, Christ.
So. And +60, sorry, because you're behind her as well. She's facing Rex.
Very
Yeah,
easy.
it doesn't matter either way, just +60. You can either do it by difficulty or putting it in the modifier box, but the result is the same. Why the suspense? She's dead.
Yeah,
She is now.
Why are you making me wait? Yeah, she's just completely
Wow.
dead. Oh yeah, that's 19 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. And she has a minor cut in the process, but yeah, she falls to the floor in a heap. She falls silent as well, and I mean, I feel it only fair to give Skullplate his opportunity with a wolf. What would you like to do?
Murderify.
You can murderify the wolf. Go right ahead. You outnumber it 2-1. Santiago's not engaged because he fucked up so badly. So you have loads of advantage, and just do plus 40.
So +40. So that's the +2. Damn it. +2.
Modifier box.
Plus
Yeah, I'd.
Put 40 in the modifier.
It
box.
rolled -6. It's so dead.
Gonna die.
It's so dead. Like, you probably cut it in half. Yep. Right arm. I mean, it's dead. The right arm, basically. We'll do it for the sound effect here, but there you go. The right arm is going to come clean off with that, and
You have a left and a right.
Is it definitely dead?
it's definitely dead.
Describe how I killed it.
Go for it.
I cut its right front leg off, and then beat it around the head until it stopped squealing.
Beat it. Wet end.
Okay.
They just keep stabbing it over and over again.
Oh, you're basically stabbing the woman, are you?
Mm-hmm.
I made that sound really bad. Sorry, stabbing the witch. Like, the key here is not her gender; it's the fact that she's a witch.
I
should have tried to bring her
I
back
tried to-
alive.
I'm also going to be stomping on her head.
Okay, so yeah, like you poke a few holes in her, like all of her vital organs now have like a tiny pinprick hole because, you know, it's a rapier for you. But she's definitely dead after being stabbed multiple times. Like we can do that.
Okay.
Her face looked very pitiful in the token, but she looked far more pissed off once she was fighting. And so, the group of you can reconvene. Santiago seems to be coping rather well for someone who's been bitten in several places and has
Can I
a...
give my potion?
He's going to decline. I will be fine. Just,
But this way I can
He's
make
odd.
Sigmar bring more arrows.
You're a little out of practice there, Santiago.
Can I take the witch's head before he does a low glance?
Oh, I wanted to do something like that. Yeah, sure.
I mean, you can hack off the head. Santiago looks towards Sigurd. Signor, this is your choice. I am happy to rest.
Yeah, please.
This is,
Was that please take the potion or please rest?
Uh,
Do you need to be more specific, Signor?
I
asked you
Lazarus offered him one.
See. He offered me a potion. I am deciding whether or not I should take it or whether I should rest.
Well, I mean, we're out here. I don't know if we can rest right where we're at, so take the potion. You know.
Si, Signor. He takes the potion and drinks it. And gains a load of wounds and he's feeling great now. Right. Skullplate and Rex.
Right.
What are you up to?
So I want to inspect the body for all kinds of markings.
Okay. Cool.
Any markings or something, you know.
I'll let him inspect the body before I take it.
I would say clearly visible on the body are some like blackened veins. Her shape is a little bit on the wiry side. Her posture very stooped. She certainly looks like a witch. And her eyes were black. That's the...
Yeah. Can I now cut her like arm to see like the blood flow
Okay, sure.
with a knife? Just slice.
Sure.
She's bleeding from all of the holes from
Yeah,
Sigurd.
but
She's a sieve at this point.
I have poked her a few times.
just to be sure, to make sure her arm's got the same blood as the rest of her, because you're not a man of medicine. It is also red. It's all red.
Okay, so it's not black or anything.
No, there is no black blood. It is certainly sort of a red and meets with a nice sort of pink, as it sort of pools gently into the snow. Santiago is coughing in the background now after drinking what was probably urine out of a bottle, but
Yeah. Just gonna turn to Lazarus and be like, oh mate, so this isn't like the same sort of thing you've seen with Yara, is it? Like pointing to the arm.
Should I roll a medicine?
you saw black veins. That's a bit similar.
And then
Okay.
that's all I.
Yeah,
that's all I
you don't
want,
need a
so-
roll to recognise that she also had slightly black veins. Didn't have black eyes, but...
Okay. So now I turn to Skullclabber. Have at it, mate. And step back.
Can I roll an outdoor survival to pick up arrows?
Go for it.
I rolled it at challenging.
Sure. Yeah, challenging it is. Yep, you get some arrows back that we will decide later.
They only fired twice.
Yeah, I think you get half of them back, but I want to read that later. But no rules lawyering for now. That's for the after show. And so her head comes cleanly off. It offers very little resistance, and you have the head of a witch.
Well, that'll go in my bag.
Okay. With your collection of heads. I assume you're keeping the bridle on it?
Yeah, just I'm not touching anything else on it.
Yep.
I've literally chopped it off, stuck it in the bag. I don't really particularly want to touch the witch of a head. The head of a
Yeah,
witch.
I'm assuming like you hold it by the hair, sort of Medusa style, and put it inside your
Bridle.
pouch. Yeah, hold it by the bridle. That'll do.
So we got the head. The question now is, do we also bring the body?
I would say so, because you said bring the whole thing if you can.
All right. Well, all right. We'll drag the body then.
All right. You drag the body of the witch back to town. Anywhere you would like to go on the way back, or you're just sort of dragging the corpse with you?
Back to the. We'll go back the same way we came towards the pyre where they were burning down. The poor townsfolk.
Okay. As you turn around and look toward the town, there is a fair degree of smoke coming from it. It's difficult at this distance to tell exactly where it is from, but it does certainly not cover the entirety of the town. But this is not a smoke from a fireplace.
Yeah.
This is large and black and reaching up into the sky.
No, roll an intelligence test to have a guess at how many buildings are now on fire.
Sure, I like that.
Intelligence.
Yeah, I'd say an average test.
How many do I think?
One or two. Or maybe one big one. Yeah, doubles are only count for combat. No additional bonuses, sadly, for these. But either way, one or two.
I reckon that's probably one or two, boys. So I think the temple's definitely on fire. If they've got any sense.
Anyone surprised by that?
Does
Got bleeding plants in it.
Does the smoke look like the same as when I put the piece in the fire?
I wouldn't know.
It is black. Really black. Yeah, sure.
Do I need to make a roll to recognise that fact?
No. You're a pretty clever slayer. More laws than most. So, any plans for the walk back, or just a gentle stroll back to where you were issued your mission?
But I do want to remind everyone about that smoke, to say that it looks like the same black cloud as when I burnt that small piece of the plant. That it burns the same still.
Once we get to town, try not to breathe any of that crap.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have my mask.
I think we just want to get rid of the body, to be honest, at this point.
Right.
I'd have burnt it, but okay.
And so...
Okay, so we have the head, though, at least, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing.
I think someone's dragging the body back by the feet as well.
Dragging it like two pieces so she can't chant.
Keep the head
That
separate.
scream was absolute shit.
Bag on Skullplate's back starts chalking. Sorry, Skullplate, I might have to swing at it.
Yeah. I would say with the SL of +6 that she got, Alien, it probably takes a while for like the ringing in your ears to stop and leaves you feeling pretty uncomfortable.
I'm just going to walk back to town, dragging the body, and just keep an eye on that bag.
Yep. Nothing
Skull
moves,
plate.
nothing twitches. The body, despite your caution, remains pretty lifeless. This does not seem to behave like a troll. And the group of you arrive back into town. There is a similar scene to before. However, as you arrive close, you do see that the Temple of Raya is burning. Starting to, at least. And primarily the other side of the building, but it is within the early moments of the building going up ablaze. There are slightly less individuals here. Not many. But you are greeted with what you can only imagine that the majority of the town were effectively stood here waiting for you to come back. There are visible and palpable signs of relief as they see your approach, and the majority of them, however, remain silent. All except for one, a witch hunter who is looking towards you. Welcome back. I trust your trip was enjoyable.
I take the head from my bag and throw it down towards his feet. Not at him, but just so it lands by his feet.
Like dramatic rolls a little bit.
And I drop the body in between us.
Very good. You have saved me a lot of trouble, and for this I am eternally grateful. And as such, I will offer a means of salvation for your town. I have concerns still, but my business is, well, I am required elsewhere for now. However, I will be returning in approximately 3 months, as I will likely be headed towards the capital, which isn't actually Altdorf currently. I will be headed toward Altdorf, and in your absence, we have devised a way in which you can prove your purity to us. Your lord will grant a degree of provisions for you to construct a new temple, and I would like this to be largely built within that time. Anyone who wishes to roll a perception. Challenging.
Surely we can all roll one.
Yeah, go on. This is... Normally I'm against everyone making a roll, but everyone make a roll.
I think I've got it.
Okay. To your right, Rex, is someone you recognise from the Carpenters Guild. You hear a very loud gulp from their throat. They don't say anything, but you hear the sort of swallow that a man would make when he is faced with an insurmountable task. Following this, and I would hope that the new temple will perhaps bring a larger, let us say, dedication toward Sigmar, and Theodosius had provided an excellent idea that the construction as well as funding should come from yourselves as a means of proving your faith. However, some things will be afforded naturally, and sort of smiles and waves kind of faux theatrically towards the Tarm Manor. And I will throw in as well that I still remain cautious that you have not been attacked for some time, so when I return, if that is still the case, well, we will just have to burn your town. But let us hope that in the meantime, well, things return to a degree of normality, and I will bid you all a good day, and I will see you in a few months, and truly I am curious to see what you will be capable of achieving together, and I also am somewhat hopeful that, well, we can use this town to make an example, of course, save for the manor, as there are some friends of mine in there. And he turns to leave, with the Temple of Raya at this point starting to really catch a blaze. He forms with thugs left, right, and centre all around him, and they basically start heading away, and a large sort of exclamation mark appears above the heads of the majority of the town. upon hearing that in 3 months, should a temple not be built, should the town still be void of any raids or usual activity you would expect, then everyone will be burned. I would point to
I just turn around and stare at the manor.
Okay. They've all turned around and gone to walk inside as you do. They have left, all save for the guard. And there are still a number of them. But Engel, as well as Theodosius, have stepped inside.
I'm robbing this guy.
Fucking hell.
He's dead.
Moor is gonna get.
To make up for the money that was taken from me.
I would say the corpse was gone when you got here.
Oh.
That's in the fire, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking man's dead. Shot by a witch hunter. Leave him alone. Oh shit.
I'm beginning to think the next fire needs to be over there somewhere.
Hmm.
I don't know about you, Rex, but I don't trust that guy.
No.
Which one? The witch hunter or the other one?
Both.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't trust them as far as I could throw them one-handed with my arm broken.
You've been there too.
Yeah. It's not a good sign.
We need to get to Tame Manor, and quickly.
Well, I'm wondering what's going to happen after with the... And I just sort of look at the the Temple of Raya burning.
Large degree of black smoke billowing into the sky. But it's burning.
If he's involved, why burn it?
What do you mean?
If that's a chaos plant, and they put it there on purpose, why are they burning it?
To keep up appearances?
You think that man needs to keep up any appearances?
Well, to the rest of the world you would. If you don't have your friendly neighborhood witch hunter watching your back, but a different witch hunter came by, he might think otherwise. Because it seems odd.
Say.
Because it seems odd that we just went out and did their job for them.
Yeah.
Lazarus,
I'll
Yes.
drink wine.
can you roll me a challenging perception test, please?
Sure. Well, this is towards the end of the session. I'm going to reroll it.
Sure.
Meta.
Much better.
Okay. You have, as you are talking with the others, imagine in your vision an image coming to you for, say, I can only say 5 frames, a split second, 0.001 of a second, but you see clearly and crisply the witch hunter stood in front of you as he just was minutes ago, with blood dripping down from his eyes.
Huh.
That is accompanied by a piercing and howling screech, which is as gone as quickly as it appeared. I will say it makes you jump out of your skin. Most likely, at least.
You alright there, Lazarus? Just gonna...
Yeah.
You alright, mate?
I think so.
Anyway, let's get back to the rattle where we can talk a little bit more freely, and I just look over at the guards because they're still here.
Couple of leaning on the rails, sort of
Yeah.
watching the crowds disperse slowly. Okay.
While leaving, gonna pass the leader of the Carpenters Guild, just hand on shoulder, be like, we'll sort something, mate.
this will be the assistant that you conversed with before. He came across
nice
as the
bloke.
guy in charge. Oh, you're going to the dum-dum.
I know that whoever
Yep.
the guy was. Oh,
Okay.
Lead with the
It's
building.
complicated with the Carpenters Guild because the dumb guy is in charge, but he's effectively got a minder who comes across as in charge, who's the
Yeah.
guy you speak to. I should hope so. Well, we will need Sigmar for this, and a lot of faith,
well,
and
wouldn't be the first
supplies.
time we've- oh,
and nails, and tools, and masonry, and workers.
don't worry, mate. We'll go through it a bit later. All right.
Sure.
We'll come by.
Thank you for saving us for now.
It wouldn't be the first time we've done something impossible.
As we leave, I want to make sure that I take a slow walk past the wall so I can glare at the guard.
Roll intimidation. Let's have a man off challenging.
Oh,
Intimidation.
Intimidation.
can't
No,
crit
no
one.
bonuses.
I've still got 2 advantages.
Oh, you don't. You lost that hours ago. Be gone with the 0.
Let me just see if I can put that to a 0. Hang on.
Yeah, you should be able to change it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll put that as a 0.
Oh.
3
Ooh.
versus 3. His target was +2 on yours, so we'll just call it even. It's technically a very mild victory for him, or a very minor one, but the two of you just stare each other down and each of you smile a little bit.
Right, back to the rat hole for me. I'm done here.
Right. If there's no other business in town, and most of the villagers by now are gossiping a little bit in a rather concerned manner, some are going back to their homes.
Are the dwarves about, the miners?
Uh,
Go.
yeah, Bocky is down here wiggling around.
Ah, yes.
Hello!
Remarkably chipper as always. Yep. Just go down and say hello and tell him to keep an eye on his inventory at the mine in case anything unexpected should turn up.
Oh,
Something that
well,
might help.
I'm sure that there's some things that are going on and things. Yes, I'll do that. Doesn't know how to be a smuggler.
Also, might want to keep an eye on his basement.
But you know how to dig, Bucky.
There's my herbalist.
He sort of pulls up his collar. Doesn't Dowie know how to dig?
Indeed, brother. Indeed. That might come in handy sometime very soon. Good day.
Can I flirt with this chick?
As you're walking away first. But what are we going to be digging?
Jesus.
It's just like... But I want to dig! Sure, you could... where's the thirsty son of a bitch that wants to... Oh my god. Okay.
He doesn't give a shit.
Alright, roll a charm test.
Does that mask make you blush?
Difficulty?
Yeah, do you have your mask on?
I'll take it off for her.
Okay.
Looks hot.
Okay. Make a charm test.
Average, challenging.
Challenging.
Up on law plants, he's going for the charm offensive. And he's
Not at all.
Though
Still better!
better than her. With her terrible roll, you approach her and what do you say? What's your strategy here?
I'm gonna make this ridiculous. Be like, hey, come here often. Amongst the burning of the village.
Her response is, "Ke?"
Oh.
It's evident after a few more sentences that she does not speak your language. One of the words seemed familiar to Santiago's, but she seems confused, and her mother, who you assume it's her mother, quickly nudges her away from the predator.
Right.
And magically you all appear back at the rat hole, which is now empty because, you know, this is where the unsavoury people reside.
It didn't need to be. You don't need to go back to their screen, but before we left, I actually did like a proper prayer signaler.
Okay, a proper prayer.
Alright.
Okay. I would say that the bodies on the fire have not been sort of tended to. It had burned out some time ago and was largely ash, but I think it was largely unattended. So aside from the prayer, anything else you wanted to do there?
No, I just stare at the keep as I walk past it.
Okay.
The rat hole.
Okay. Santiago heads upstairs. I will lay down, senor. Goes behind the bar, grabs a bottle, goes upstairs.
You're not going to join him, Lazarus?
Aye.
Well, you know.
You kind of flirt with everyone.
What? But have you seen him?
Hey,
I've seen you.
Mr. Mask
He
Man.
doesn't have boobs.
Now, boys. Now. Lazarus is like, he's a young troll slayer, and he's just trying to make that to his advantage, get with the ladies. So I can't blame him on that one. Anyway, well, fuck. That was, well, that's probably about as good as it gets, isn't it?
Still alive.
Yeah.
And the town's not burnt down yet.
Yet.
And Soren's behind the bar. Howdy.
Hey, Soren.
Putting in an appearance.
Really?
That sound effect, though.
It's still the bottom of the barrel.
God damn.
I see you made it back, Soren.
Hey. Howdy. Saw the witch hunter was headed off, so figured I could come back and, you know, do some cleaning.
3 months before he comes back.
3 months.
We need to do something. Something is not right in that town, and something is not right with that witch hunter.
Agreed.
Thing wrong with any of those types?
He's
How
definitely
do
one
you
of the
tell
more
the
crooked
difference?
ones I've met.
But you saw his army.
Yeah, can't really tango with that.
No, we might be able to take down a troll, but we're slightly outnumbered there.
We can't afford to mess around anymore. We need to get into that mansion. We need to know what's going on. I think maybe Bucky might dig us a tunnel.
Will that take?
Sounds fun.
No
Less-
luck. The dwarf digging.
Like less time than.
He might not steal it. He might not do it, but we can ask.
We have 3 months.
I need to
Indeed.
figure out some information about this witch hunter that came into town here. He's got too much riding on that chaos swarmed sheep.
Well, I'm going to be joining the hunters here soon, like out in the woods. I'll keep an eye on anything, like with the beastmen.
Thing is, we need to start letting them attack the town as well.
But
Well, we
didn't
can
you
always
say your
wait,
elf had
like-
got a magic line that meant they couldn't?
That's the problem.
If they can't get past that line, they're not going to attack. So you either need to talk to your elf, or we need to come up with the reason there's a line there. If it isn't the elf.
Worst case scenario, we could stage an attack. We could set up forces at the line and just blow the horn.
I'll call them. They won't come across that line. They're
Okay,
too far away
make
from
them
the city to actually
go
shoot
past the
anyone.
line.
You can go past the line, mate.
What if the beastmen attacked the village, but they weren't beastmen?
Like
If
like stage a raid.
We're gonna You were gonna get dressed up in costumes.
Skull plate with a cow's hat on.
We're
Just
gonna,
put a goat's head on him.
That's some heretical shit right there.
That'll bring the witch hunter back.
There's plenty of shady people around here.
yeah, they're all in that keep.
Could we not burn down the Lord's manor and claim it was the beastman?
Or the,
Two birds, one stone.
or the ashes from the Temple of Raya landed on the roof.
That's not a terrible idea.
Whoops.
Perhaps the elves can help us in this. If we can stage a beastman raid, and in the fighting, the
Confusion.
the manor sudden, they break in and attack the manor, and we happen to need to go in there to help defend it,
Or they just happen to burn it down.
or happen to burn it down.
I'm not sure if the elves would be too bothered about doing anything to help us directly. They're more focused on what's going on in the wood at the moment.
But it centers on the town.
Say he wanted more information. Could we point him at the manor? Maybe he can get in there. He's a sneaky bastard.
Elves are sneaky bastards, you're right. That's another option.
It'll help him as well as us.
So from a From a meta standpoint, Hydra,
Yarp.
how long we got left?
3 months would be.
No, I mean time, as in session.
Yeah. So 3 months converted to sessions would be like 8+. It's a fair few.
Also, how long we got left of the current session?
Like a bit.
Okay, right, fine.
Like we if everyone's good, we can run on for like another 15-20 because we normally start half hour late.
Well, no, I was going to suggest, hey, let's go check out the North smuggler thing, but we've eaten that. So.
Yeah, you can. It's like, I'd say 3 o'clock. Depends. Like, does anyone need to go? Lothar, Laz, Sig,
No, I'm good.
Skull.
I don't need to go, but I need to go, if that makes sense. I've had 3 cans of beer. If you can give me a couple of minutes.
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
He's gonna pee.
Skullplate goes to go drink.
Or
Lothar
vomit.
is Lothar needing to go drink, or is Lothar?
No.
Lothar's willing to sit at the box. Okay.
I'm rolling lore plants. Da-dun.
Okay. We'll carry on rolling for a bit. So.
Alright, anyway, that was just a meta point of view. If anybody's got anything else to talk about, far away.
I think we got planning to do. After everything that's happened today, I think we just need to.
So we've got 3 months to construct a temple with no resources,
Oh,
barely
blacksmith.
any help, no
I thought the
priest.
would be provided some resources.
They're gonna provide us fuck all, mate.
So we need to scavenge more wreckages for the carpentry guild. Or just say, fuck it, cut the trees down.
Wow.
You need enough to build a temple.
Well, maybe Mr. Sigurd here can get us a permit to go cut some trees down. From the Lord himself.
Well, the Lord himself isn't here.
Yeah, but his advisors here. You can at least try, because they might lift the ban.
Yeah.
Or you follow up on the idea of finding out more about this witch hunter. Know who we're dealing with and why he seems so shady. We need to know more about him. We could do with contacting the elves. The other option is we get the dwarfs to dig a tunnel. And the other is we case the Lord's Manor ourselves. See if we can get in, get past the guards. So we've only got 3 months. If any one of these plans doesn't work, we could do with the others in place.
Right. We're still going to have to construct a temple no matter what.
Yeah.
Getting the materials for that is going to be absolute horror.
There we go. I'm back.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Lizard trained.
If it gets to the point where we can't bring in the lumber, or we get taxed as it comes in.
Precisely, if they decide to levy tax on everything we bring in as well.
I'm not sure if it's. I don't think it's tax. It's the problem. It's actually like Lord's decree.
Only if you cut down the trees, but if we bring the resources in,
We're
fine.
not taxed on them.
maybe.
If it's already
You don't
treated wood.
You don't think that
He wants it built, therefore we've got access to the trees, right?
Well, you heard them. The Lord's manor will survive whether the town burns or not. What does he have to care? You heard the rumours about there being a hand and foot tax.
Huh.
Do you really think he wouldn't? He's already making a poor town pay for a temple. Do you think he's above making them pay tax on top of that? Nah. He'll tax you for the privilege of building it yourself.
Well,
I'm so very this guy.
worst comes to worst, we gonna have to turn the old rat hole into a temple of Sigmar.
Just put a shrine in the corner and call it a temple.
I'm just gonna turn to Soren and just look at him and be like, what do you think?
He just
without
turns
saying
his head left and right really slowly, with his arms crossed.
I think he might be open to the idea, guys.
You might be able to talk him round.
We might be able to talk that round. We'll call that Plan B.
That's the last ditch effort, I'm sure.
We'll call that Plan B.
So what are our options here? We can look into digging into getting the Miners Guild to see if Bocky will dig a tunnel in. We can potentially get faking.
Maybe we can get sell it to get a trade with another town, so we can get more lumber quicker.
Yeah.
I don't like doing what that guy says.
What about the because you guys didn't get the blueprints. What about if we could find a guy who did build the place? Maybe they dug a tunnel we can tap into.
They'd be dead now by now unless they're a dwarf.
Well, I don't know many humans that can dig tunnels very well.
No, but there's human construction. You're in one. It's falling down around your ears. Unless that was built by a dwarf, you're not going to find the builder.
We can still hire a thief.
Or the elf.
I think we need to explore all options. We need to ask the elf, as much as I hate to say it.
Well,
Rex, was it
I
you
can
wanted
go
to
out and
look
have a
at?
conversation with it.
We can find a thief to see if there's any way that they can break in.
Right.
See what I can find out from the guard. If there's any time where there's less of them about.
I'll speak to Bocky to see what the chances are of him digging a tunnel.
Alright then. For now, there's that smuggler's thing in the north. You remember about a month back? That one in the south?
Well, we find that map.
That on that map, that X. We want to go take a look?
How far away is it?
Are you healthy enough, Lothar?
Maybe.
I think it was an hour or so.
An hour to 2 hours. Like, if you briskly went there and briskly moved back, you would be just teetering on the edge of daylight today. But
You think there's a chance of a fight, Rex?
Couldn't tell you, mate. I mean, it's a X marks the spot.
I mean, we don't have to confront anything that's there. We can just do scouting and see if there is anything there.
Well, we're talking about getting more resources into the town. It might be useful to know more of these spots.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
May as well go have a quick look.
hey, good luck.
Let's make sure we X marks the spot. I mean, Spock? X marks the spot. May mean
Why do eggs mark the Spock?
Spock.
Because when you throw the egg, it marks it.
Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, scissors, spot.
Okay. Okay. Right. No, it's troll. Doink,
Oh, fucking hell, it's a troll cave.
doink. Wasn't expecting you to do this, but you finally fucking done it. Right. You head outside of town. You have a map to show you where it is. The map was designed to help people find it, so you don't have to make a roll. You arrive, and as you are approaching, how are you approaching first of all?
I'm up front. This time I've made sure I've picked up a torch. Just in case there is a troll. Because trolls are friendly to me. They burn real good.
Okie dokie. Right. As you approach, quietly I assume, without making too much noise, you hear the sound of heaving and grunting off ahead of you. And for anyone who peeps over, you do not need to roll a test, as it's obvious that there are a number of individuals moving boxes from one cart to another, seem to be carrying it out of a cave. They look to be fairly unsavoury characters.
Can I roll like I'm guessing an intuition test to see what how good do I think they are?
Sure. Intuition, yeah, that's a good one to roll. So do it. Average. This is just to look at physical build. It's hard to tell.
Of interest, I don't know them, right?
Roll.
They're not the guys I went and found.
No, but roll me a D100. Just you, Lothar. Just one D100. Right. None of you might have seen one of them before in town, but you're not sure. Maybe, but maybe it's just a familiar face.
What do we reckon?
It looks like somebody beat us to it.
Yeah. I reckon we probably have to come back another time unless you guys want to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I was about to say Lothar's health's been cut in half.
I've still got puncture wounds in my arm.
I don't mind fighting an enemy, but they've done nothing to me.
It's an active smuggler's hole, so we can come back.
To your left, you hear a snapping of a twig. And hey, is anyone there? What would you like to do?
Aye, just travellers on the road.
Very quickly, there is a whistle for anyone observing the cart. All boxes are dropped instantaneously, and a few other individuals step out from the cave rather briskly. None of them draw weapons, but you can see all of them are armed as they approach you. And one figure in particular steps forward. And what exactly are you doing here? 'Cause you ain't a traveller, and you ain't anywhere near a road.
Well,
How do you imagine we got here, Manling? By travelling.
Aye, you might be a slayer, but what's your lip? Now, what's your business? And how'd you find this anyway?
By chance. We heard there might be treasure here, but it appears we were too slow.
You roll me a charm test, Skullplate.
So,
No, actually, I'm not going to roll an easy charm test, Skullplate, because you're not really trying to outright lie to this person. Oof.
Oof.
I'll re-roll that. If I remember how.
Just right-click it.
Right click on it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Right then. Sure. Looking about. Well, best clear off then.
Aye.
We're just stopping here for the night. Making our way.
Then good luck to you.
One of the ones behind him goes, "Hey, boss! Ain't that them famous guys from the town?" And the human in front of you squints, sort of leering at all of you. "Oh, is that so?"
Possibly.
Killed a troll or two.
Huh. We heard that there was a group that killed a troll in a cave not too dissimilar to this. Smuggler's Cave it were.
What of it?
Were that you?
Aye, we killed the troll.
And what happened to what was inside?
What was inside the troll? I burned it.
The cave.
Well, I didn't burn the cave. It doesn't burn, it's rock.
Seems to be he just turns to look to someone else now.
Hey.
Stuff in the
Who are
cave.
you talking to?
That's some fancy armour you got there. Nice bit of leather. Someone's had some coin.
What do
Who are you talking?
I think you're
Yeah,
pushed
who
to
is he
talk,
talking to?
Sighard's cutting off halfway through words. I'm hearing half words a lot. What was that?
What are you referring to?
I don't know. You ain't given me your names yet.
I'll step in front of him again, so I'm in his eyesight as much as a slayer that's shorter than him can be. You're having a conversation with me, manling.
Careful, dwarf.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge.
I would point out there's about 15 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But-
probably a good idea to interject at this point.
Lothar, you know these people are criminals. You can see it straight
Yep.
away. It's obvious to you.
Just step in and go, all right, we're all businessmen here. Let's not get down in the nitty-gritties of where we get things. Doubt you'd want people asking you questions.
Ha! Too right. Gentleman like myself goes to give you a crooked handshake.
Same.
Right, well, what is your business then?
Know much about the local town here, or do you just do business along the road?
You want me to tell you about my work? A man such as
just
myself.
If you know about the town.
Yeah, not much worth doing round there. Not much
Standard
work.
passages.
Not much work for us honest folk.
Well, what we've discovered, trying to be honest and all, is that the local lord charges far too much for goods. So every now and then, things slip by him. Which, I'm sure upstanding businessmen such as yourselves probably come across similar issue.
Aye.
Well, like you, we're just trying to make an honest living.
Right.
So, we were looking for convenient storage, such as yourselves have found.
You all looking to smuggle stuff in there?
Yeah.
Turns to look to the others, and they're like all looking at each other like, hang about. He waddles off for a few moments. Fairly short, stocky man. Either a tall dwarf or a short human. For Skullplate, it's obviously a human, but for the rest, it's a little ambiguous at least. After them huddling in a circle for a moment, and you can hear some bickering going forth. But boss, I don't like him. Eventually, the same individual steps back. All right. And starts to stroke his beard while pondering and talking. What do you need? And I think that's a good point to end the session, as we can summarise a fairly lengthy conversation between the two of you within the recap next week. Oh. I will say, however, that the only person they want to speak to is Lothar. The rest of you, they don't care for. So it's basically, Lothar is allowed to converse with them for a bit, and the rest of you are stood there awkwardly.
That's absolutely fine with me.
Don't know what you're talking about. It's my best mate.
Because someone has etiquette criminals, which does become relevant sometimes. And on that note, thank you very much for stopping by, audience, today. Welcome. We were up to over 40 viewers for a while. Huzzah! And I look forward to all of you commenting down below, because I didn't say at the beginning of the session that we have another character who has been named, and he goes by Mr. Matthias. Now, who he is and what he does will be revealed at a later date, but we have another NPC, and for anyone who comments, a random commenter will be selected, and an NPC will be made in your name. So any thoughts, feedback, etc. Always like to hear what you guys think about the sessions. I always try and bug my players to hear what they think about the sessions, but where the piss is all the music gone? There we go, so just have some happy music at the end. I just feel it's really empty without music. That's a good note.
Now.
That's a good one. It's time for... this music for the event table's perfect. So let's start rolling. All right.
Are we doing it in turns?
Yeah, let's do it in turns. Do we have a volunteer to go first?
Oh, go on then. Let's have some witch hunters.
Go on, Rex. River Trolls.
It's become a meme.
It's not the trolls, it's the witch hunters.
Fuck me.
I'll take a troll over a witch hunter.
There's 250 selections and we always get trolls.
It's another river. Fucking hell. Okay. You've got another. You don't have to kill it, but if you don't, it's really going to cause a problem with. Okay. Right. Okay. So I would also
get the Slayer talent at some point.
I will point out the possible. Yeah. I will ponder the fact that it is river trolls plural, and we will find out what happens next week. Who's next?
I'll roll next one.
Skullplate.
Since I'm right here, if I can scroll all the way down, if it would let me do it. Thank you.
There we go.
Thank God.
There we go. That's one of the new rolls, Skullplate, and one of the best ones, honestly, because nothing bad happens, which is fine. Absolutely fine. An uneventful week for you, but nothing goes wrong. Who's next?
I'll go.
I'll do it.
Okay. I would point out this about Lazarus. You're a hero. You are a hero.
You're the hero we need.
Okay, there's a 1 in 5 chance of that, so let's see if we get another one.
Go for it, Sigurd.
Come on, Sigurd. Wow. Okay, a very quiet week, aside from a river trolls appearing.
What are we going for then? Witch hunters or another troll?
Oh, more trolls.
Another
Let's go.
trolls.
Let's go. There are a lot of other things on this. While travelling, you find a small trapping in the middle of the road up to the value of 1 silver. Strangely, it's something you had been looking to purchase. Was it dropped by someone? Perhaps a gift from the gods. You may pick a trapping that is worth less than 1 silver, which is to say, bugger all. So I think you can get like a handful of nails. Like, oh, that will build a temple.
Please.
Hey, yeah, we need it for the temple.
Here it is, boom. 1 more troll. Yeah, like like I did need to put this into perspective for the chat. There are a lot of other ones. There's 70 things on there, and the chance of the troll is 1 in 70. No, it ends up being about 1 in 60 odd due to the percentages. But well done, another troll.
At least I don't have to fight it.
Yeah. And there you go. So thank you very much, players, for playing. Thank you very much, viewers, for viewing. Thank you very much, everyone else, for being everyone else. Commenters for commenting, and chatters for chatting. And it's been fun. So we will see you all again next week, where, well...
And super chatters for chatting for the super chats.
Super chatters for super chatting. Thank you very much for being a better YouTuber than me. Thank you very much, Philip, and thank you very much, Damned Man. How does the witch hunt know if there is a witch? Trick question. There is always a witch. Absolutely. And there was a comment as well about how the witch was able to speak with the device. She had actually got her mouth out of it. Like a little bit of canon here. She dislocated her own jaw to basically wiggle it slightly to the side on her head, because she did have it on for 2 weeks in the wild. So she basically had a bit of time to eat sheep and try and bash it off of her head. She got it halfway off, but she failed her test to remove it. So there you go. She was basically on her face. Thus, she had a few penalties to her tests, and I lowered her stats. But there you go. Have a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you next time.
Cheers.
Goodbye.